we go. Hello and welcome to another Woodshop podcast with Mike Coffey of Coffey Custom Builds, Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, and Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop. You can find us all, as well as the podcast, on Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome to episode 124 of another Woodshop podcast, where this week we are joined by two amazing makers, a true power couple that taught us all about how to run an Etsy like it's a full-time business. One is a talented beauty with gorgeous flowing hair, and the other one's Jess, who is the true brains and beauty of the operation. Jef and Jess from Two Moose are here.
Awesome. Hey, what's up, guys? They're here. Woo! We've had Jef on the show before, but we've never had Jess on the show before.
This is big.
This is big stuff.
Dan was just too much for the first one. She just
got a 2-for-1 deal. I love it.
It's awesome. I understand. Well, we're going to jump into a bunch of stuff, but real quick, we got a word from our sponsor. Also, I want to say a big thank you to our other sponsors, our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. We got a new patron this week. His name is Jimmy Hester. I assume it's a he. Maybe it's not. But big thanks to Jimmy Hester. They are great. So thank you so much for your support. We will, you'll get, what are you, $5 tier? That's pretty good. We love you long time. Thank you so much. So anyway, the show is going to be a pretty loosey-goosey one this week, just because we only have one question in, and we kind of just wanted to deep dive everything with Jef and Jess. So I'm going to throw it to Pete real quick, because he's got a question he's always going to ask when we have guests on, and I'm going to let him ask it right now. Pete, go.
Who do you think you are? What is it that you do, and why are you important? Go.
Wow. No big deal.
Why are we important?
But seriously, for the listeners that have not heard the Jef episode and have never met Jess, tell us about like what Two Moose is, how you guys got started, and how you ended up here being like kind of the power couple of like the Etsy hustle. Like you guys are the people to
is Two Moose.
What is Two Moose?
Like what's the structure look like? How do you guys both play into the? Which one of you is the
we
first
wear the
moose?
same pair of pants, if you were wondering.
Moose one and Moose two.
It's like one of those long coats, and one of you's on the other shoulders.
We're both a size 2.
No,
they're both 3 feet tall.
Don't tell anybody. I'm taller than Mike.
Yeah, you are. That's not hard to do. Yeah, where it counts.
Man, 2017, we were both working just normal jobs. We were looking for a change.
Kmart's.
And then we just went for it. Our sister-in-law asked us to make some random stuff because we were doing like DIY type stuff around her home. And we just started listing stuff on Etsy because that's where she found like the product idea that she wanted us to make. And we just started listing stuff, and it just kind of took off from there. And then we just started posting stuff to Instagram just to kind of show ourselves out there, or like to get our business seen. And we kind of fell into like the woodworking community. And Pete was one of the first dudes that we started talking to.
Really? Pete?
Yeah. Oh, we go way back.
That's wild.
Like
Dan,
sub 1,000 probably.
Dan, you looked very confused. What happened?
I've been stuck on the whole pizza thing. I got a pizza from Casey's that didn't get any cheese on it, and it's really messed with my
Save it for what's on your bench.
Pizza needs cheese.
I didn't think you'd actually use that example. Fantastic.
I love it.
So, I mean, isn't it wild that like you're able to take yourself from your situation, start selling some stuff on a website online, and build a business? I mean, it's really cool. It's super liberating, and it's super inspiring that you guys were able to just start selling stuff, DIY stuff on Etsy, and build a business out of it. It's just
build a shop.
American dream stuff.
Yeah,
build a shop.
We paid for our 1,300 square foot shop selling pet feeders, which people laughed at us for selling like small goods, but
let them laugh.
You guys literally wrote the book.
Let them laugh while you're rolling in your pile of cash and pet feeders, obviously.
It's all NFTs.
McDuck.
no more. No more pet feeders.
You'd had enough of the pet feeder game. You're out.
Yeah.
So how does that happen? I mean, obviously you aren't selling the same things you used to. What's the process for that? What changes? Well, I mean, obviously I'm assuming it's just like what you want to do.
Exactly. It's just kind of us getting bored, and like there's certain items that you can only start selling for so much to where it kind of like caps itself because you're so much more than the competition. And then another thing about the pet feeders is they were like large and they kind of just broke easy.
They were awkward. Yeah, they were hard to ship.
That's right. You guys did your own boxes for a while, right?
Yeah.
That's an issue that we all deal with. I remember first time you told me, you're like, I just get flat pack and I like cut my own boxes. I was like, what? You can do that?
That's one of the things.
Have you done that on the laser? Have you done it on the laser yet? Oh my God, it's so nice. No, it's so fast. I've been doing my own custom like corner guards and stuff on the laser. It's so nice.
Interesting.
I do it 50, like I run it at like 20 power and like 100 or something like that. It cuts through cardboard like it's not even there. It's unreal. It cuts through cardboard so fast.
But
anyway, sorry.
That's
Dan,
awesome.
were you saying something? Did I cut you?
I was just saying that for my Etsy, I always keep in mind the shipping aspect of stuff. So I try not to list things that are going to be big and awkward on Etsy just for simplicity. That's why I do small things.
Funny enough, I've invested in like all different sizes of boxes kind of based on like what was the cheapest that I can get in bulk really affordably and often. And I've started making things that fit that. So like my mini boards, I cut them down by literally just 1/4 of an inch. So they fit perfectly in one of the boxes that I have to ship.
Yeah, if we come out with new items, it definitely kind of revolves around the boxes we kind of already have. Where do you get your boxes from, Pete?
Between Staples, Uline, and Amazon. Although I learned today that now Staples adds a shipping and handling on all of the boxes. Literally costs me double of what it usually would be.
So you should look into. So we've been getting ours through Uline forever, and then some local guy actually told us that there's a box company in Green Bay, which is like an hour from us, but they have free shipping and they're cheaper than Uline.
It's $20.
That's kind of my next step.
Well, it's cheaper
That's basically
than Uline.
free. I mean, Uline is like $150.
They literally come in a van, like a.
It's called small quantities boxes.
Yeah, so I'll definitely look for a local.
So they're probably
Yep, that's my next step. Because today I legitimately spent probably a good 3 hours looking over all the different boxes that I need and different places to get them. And like, oh, it's cheaper here or it's better in bulk here. And then I go to check out and I forget like, oh, Uline has shipping and stuff on top of it. And luckily they have tax exempt, which I get to take advantage of now, which is awesome.
Do you guys all have lumber mills like close to you?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I get so many questions on like, where do you guys get lumber? Like what website do you order it from? And like 100% of the time, don't go to Home Depot. No. Do some Google and find a lumber mill.
Yeah,
sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Mike was actually saying in a pre-show or in a post-pre-show that a lot of guys just bought bandsaw mills during a pandemic. And there's just a lot of people selling slabs.
Well, they don't have kilns. They all bought bandsaw mills. All these hillbillies in the woods out here, up in the foothills, they bought a bunch of bandsaw mills. And like my buddy and I, Ty, we went to this yard and it was like 5 acres. This dude had like 5 acres of slabs, and over half of them were bad because they were improperly stacked, stored, and stickered, and they're just all trash. Like they're all ruined now. It's like all this wood. It's like, anyway, that's why I want to buy a kiln.
We've experienced that as well.
Yeah, I just want to buy up everyone's wood for cheap and then sell it after I kiln it. But like that was a good point. So I've recently started doing this project with a company where I have to get an odd size box to ship an item. We have to ship 25 of these things a month. And it's going to be a 44 by 44 box that's like 9 inches tall. It's an odd size box.
Big boy.
And the quotes I've been getting for them are crazy expensive, literally to the point where making a crate out of plywood is going to be cheaper. So
yikes, really?
Yeah, I can make it out of like blemished ply from one of the places around here. I can get a sheet of that for like $25, and I can make 2 of the crates out of 1 sheet of ply for these. So
you can't get a pallet of boxes in bulk because we pay. It's expensive. You gotta go.
But that's a really awkward size, though. That's probably the problem.
Uline doesn't have the size. I called their customer service, so I got a hold of 2 places.
They make us boxes.
They can custom make them.
Oh, really?
They make us a custom size.
You just have to buy like 100 or 200 of them.
That's fine.
Yeah, if you're selling 25 a month, who cares?
No, it's a 2-year contract, so I'm going to be selling a lot of them. I don't know why the rep didn't tell me that.
Yeah, one of our box sizes is custom.
Okay.
I don't know if
awesome
they do it or they outsource it.
They outsource.
So we might not know, but yeah.
Just text me. We'll figure it out.
Well, I was going to say your point about finding a local corrugated supplier is a good idea because they definitely like Uline is a name brand, so they're really good pricing, but they also know that they are a
And the
name
next
brand, so
day
they charge a
shipping
lot.
You
get it quick.
Play on
And
that.
the thing about that is you kind of got to have some sort of volume because you're buying it by the freight load. So you're paying how much is freight?
120, 150,
You know,
depending on what you're buying.
You got to buy a lot of boxes and bubbles to make that worth the.
I'm buying 900 boxes and a bunch of peanuts and some other stuff, and my shipping was like $120.
Yeah.
Well,
and you have
like
to find spots to put it all.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
too.
like twice a year they do a free shipping like promo, and that's where I'll try to drop like $3,000 or so. I'll drop a ton of money on shipping, but like I've still got stuff left over. But
I was gonna say I would.
That's the problem.
He's got like 5 buildings.
That's the problem. Is
But
like
for a
my
while, it
garage
was
is
all
just
in your
full of
garage.
boxes. Yeah, it was just full in my garage. But now I have that loft above that new laser room, and that's where all that stuff's gonna
so
go.
I'll just buy a Christmas tree farm. Got it.
Just gonna buy a Christmas tree. But
Wisconsin.
but that stuff's really important to think about. Like all my templates, I make my templates no bigger than 19 inches so they can fit into a 20-inch long box. And that's the box I buy that's the cheapest for those things. So
That's smart.
good stuff to think about for sure.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
our
Mike,
first,
one of our first, or well,
go ahead,
Jeff.
please.
One of our first orders, we listed all of our stuff. We got some items on there, and this wonderful lady bought. Did it go to Germany or Texas?
Germany.
It went to Germany. Like one of our first orders on Etsy went to Germany. This thing showed up just shattered.
It was bad.
Luckily, the person was super cool about it, but like, man, that's another
What'd
thing you
you
gotta
do?
consider.
We just refunded her.
You just refunded.
We didn't know, so we just gave their money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
you
do that a
still
lot
ship international
on
for
Etsy.
everything?
What's that?
Do you still ship international for everything?
We actually just turned that off on Etsy just because it was beginning to be more of a headache than it was worth. We still do on our website, but the shipping calculator is never accurate.
Yeah, because everything's free shipping now. So like you gotta kind of, and the overseas is never accurate, and it just feels like stuff always gets lost, and it's just kind of a mess.
Yep. No, I feel that.
Yeah, I want to drop. I was saying before the show, I want to drop for me, like Etsy. I mean, I'm not as deeply ingrained as Etsy as all three of the folks here. I've kind of like tried to pull away from it, but I'm trying to like really pare down my offerings on Etsy. And then I'm going to keep stuff on my website, but I'm going to have it not free shipping anymore just because I'm tired of dealing with no free shipping. I'm just sick of it. It's just a pain in the neck, but
I think it's good to have some stuff free shipping, some maybe not. And then kind of.
Well, if you don't offer free shipping on Etsy, I don't think they show you to other people.
Water.
Yeah, you're very dead in the water.
Sure.
Dan is correct. Yeah, your odds of being on that front page are like pretty much non-existent if you don't offer free shipping on Etsy.
Yeah, Etsy itself pushes that pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things. They actually had a holiday something Etsy up. I think they call it like the new university page. So they had a whole holiday event today talking about all the stuff. And that was like one of their big things. So like free shipping is great and customers love it, which was basically like, oh, okay, so everything has to be free shipping. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Play the game or don't get shown. Exactly.
So, Mike, I'm going to piggyback off one of the questions you were going to ask. And like, because you guys talked about like how you guys started and you've been changing stuff. So like, what's the next thing? Like, what are you guys trying to move towards? Because you've done digital files. You guys have been doing a lot of very awesome custom end cutting boards with inlays. Like, what are you guys trying to move towards? Is there an end goal or are you just kind of exploring where you want to be next?
So we would like to definitely do more content just because that gives us more freedom, but that's also, it's a whole nother journey. As for like furniture and stuff, it's just constantly just honing our craft and getting rid of stuff that's kind of a headache and trying to replace that with something easier that has a higher profit margin. And that's just kind of
that's a continual goal. But
just, get rid of stuff that kind of sucks and replace it with something that has better margins, which now
What do
would
you
be
like-
cutting boards.
Like as you grow, you learn new things, you get better at different things. Other things don't provide as much joy, I guess. And so they have less value and you have everything. Everyone's always changing, especially with woodworking itself. Like what people are actually buying is like changing too. Like there seems to be like new things and trends you can jump on. So I don't know. It's it seems like if you're not,
are people still buying
your
pallet
business
furniture
all the time? I don't think that's a thing.
So there's a place by me that left out pallets on a road with a big cardboard sign that says $4 a pallet. I'm like, no one's paying that. Get out of here.
I bet someone bought them.
I hope not.
They wouldn't have lasted 20 minutes in 2008.
They would have been a bunch of coffee tables by the end of the day.
Filled with chemicals, no big deal.
Yeah. Fertilizer or whatever.
It's fine.
What's you guys have been looking for a new place? That's exciting, but also horrible at the same time. I mean,
Yes.
what? I mean, it's like the
What?
worst,
This is
especially
a
right
great
now.
market to buy a house. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's
You
a buyer's
haven't bought a
market.
Interest
house
rates are
since like
all-time low.
1995.
So many options.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what's that been?
So
Besides
we
horrible.
started the business in 2017, and then we built the shop in
2019.
2019, paid for by pet feeders. And then we kind of built the shop with the intentions of selling. So I probably would have went a lot larger and more elaborate if we didn't want to sell the house. But because we were both self-employed, we couldn't get any loans because we didn't have
Right.
like proof of income. So it was just kind of a nightmare.
Yes.
So we kind of downplayed the shop a little bit in hindsight of selling the home because I didn't want this big giant crazy shop to scare away buyers. So
Right.
I mean, our shop's still pretty big for
Yeah, it
considering
is.
most people work in a
You know what I'm
garage.
saying?
So yeah, man, it's just now we're to the point where we can finally move, and then the market's just bonkers. It's kind of leveling off and getting a little more normal now, but man, you
There's
and
nothing available.
Mike and Pete, you guys bought homes in like crazy zone time.
Yeah. And it honestly has not gotten better. It's still rough out there. Like we have some people in a community right now. I'm gonna call Liam, and like he's been looking for a while now, and there's just stuff getting snatched up immediately. You guys know it's
Yeah.
especially if you're looking for a place with a workshop. One of the most infuriating things is like no listing will ever show you a garage.
Yeah.
Not the inside. Nope.
I mean, even I've
Well-
noticed that. I'm not like actively trying to buy a house or anything, but
So annoying.
I look occasionally just in case, something just flops into my lap. But yeah, they don't show
We
you
saw a
shops or
house-
garages.
One of the first houses we looked at, like, it looked great. But then when you see the photos of a house and you look at a house, it's never what you expect. It's
Yep.
always way smaller and everything's laid out way more tight than you think. And it had a big shop on it. First thing I did was walk up to the shop and it had a gravel floor. And you could tell like the inside just wasn't cared for. It was like it wasn't even worth. I'd be better off just building a new shop at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just change your car's oil in there, not put a wood shop in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
No.
I actually don't even know like what the market is right now. I'm so like off, like when we were done, like going back to how miserable it is buying a house, I deleted all those real estate apps off my phone. I got rid of all
sure.
that crap.
Good.
I
Don't
was
even
just like,
wanna
I don't even
look
want
at
to
it.
deal with this anymore.
No.
But I know I get those like random, like your house is worth this much based on some weird metric we made up, but the prices are still going up. It's wild. And I know that the
So crazy.
inventory is up a bit, but it's just like, it's weird. I think everything goes in waves across the country
Super
too.
high
so.
turnover.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're also in the Midwest, and Wisconsin's probably a horrible place to be because of winters. So a lot of people don't want to move in the winter, along with all the kids are going back to school. So our realtor said that on average during like the summer months, she gets like 100 listings a day coming across her computer.
Holy
And
cow.
then toward going into winter and like midwinter time, she gets like 10 a day. She said it drops off. So our hopes for moving this year are kind of, you never
Not
know.
looking
but-
good.
Well,
Yeah.
Also, less people looking, especially when it's snowy
no,
and cold out.
around
So you guys
here,
might
and
just
there's,
like,
yeah.
2 feet of snow, you don't really want to move when
That's
it
it.
hurts. to
That's
go
a huge
outside.
factor, and it's like such a bummer to think about too. Because I was really hoping to go out there and help you guys set up the new shop.
Well,
I
actually,
was gonna be like,
Cool. We'll plan
that
out.
brings up
One
a
day, we will
question.
move.
That brings up a
you will,
question.
for sure.
Is my internet not working?
No, it's working. It's working. We're just all
No,
talking.
sorry, Dan.
Is moving out of Wisconsin even on the table? Have you even
It's
thought
for
about
me.
that? She didn't even
That was
hesitate.
a quick answer.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So the catch
Jeff was
is,
very hesitant. I love it.
Jeff's family has land that he hunts on.
Oh, that's
And
important.
Moving far from that is going to be.
And to me, like those 2 months of the year where I can hunt are quite important to me. So it just kind of sucks at this point in my life to kind of just leave and have
I mean,
to
you
worry
can
about, like,
hunt
coming
in other
back.
places in the country. You know that, right?
I could, and I would go for sure. Go west to like where the
Oh
mountains
yeah,
are.
go
and
west,
stuff.
young man, or whatever they say. Oh, okay.
Get out to I mean, well, it's not the same. I mean, I know the family property is a lot of property, and that's important to you for sure. So it's hard to pull away from those things, but Montana's pretty great.
Dude, I would for sure go to Montana.
I know I want to be out in Montana so
But you
bad.
guys
like-
also
This
want
is
to
like,
be in a
winter.
populated area, right?
Yeah,
So
I
that's
want
one of the things.
warmer.
Warmer too.
yeah,
Can you
Yeah,
hunt?
thought about
Can you hunt in
California.
Florida?
Florida.
Gators.
Yeah.
Can you hunt gators?
Not whitetails.
Gotta be careful though. Gators got his back.
Whitetail gators? Is that a thing?
Are there?
Gators bitches better be wearing Jimmys.
Oh no. And I asked you this in the pre-show, but like you guys external shop or separate shop or a commercial property? Any thought of that?
Ideally, it has a shop there that we can make work for us.
So you can just go there while you're still in your underwear if you need to.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what
Like,
I
I
like.
mean, we have an employee, so that's kind of frowned upon. But
I'm not saying go out there while the employee's there.
Who's your HR department, Jeff?
Close your eyes. I'm coming out.
Worst case scenario, the house has like a three stall garage that we can like make work while we build. But man, building is just stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure
especially
is.
moving on top of
Oh,
building
man.
is even worse.
Because as
And
you're
with the
moving, all the
price of
stuff's going in a
materials.
garage, and
Yep.
then your tools need to be in a garage.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's definitely a lot that has to go into this.
It's a
yeah,
lot.
which is
Yeah.
kind of like also the issue.
But the nice thing is, I mean, think of it kind of in a positive light. I try to always focus on the positive, even if there isn't any. But
So
in this
annoying.
case, the same reason that you guys might have a hard time finding a house, which is a place with a big shop, is the same reason a lot of people are going to not look at a property because it has a large building. You know,
So I
granted,
hope.
you're in a more rural area now, but like, you know, city people don't really want a giant thing on their property that they have to maintain. So you might also get lucky with that.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
How to just be positive
feel
vibes.
like-
Yeah, a large
Yeah, in
outbuilding.
Wisconsin, it's pretty sought after, I think, but I'll pretend like it's not.
Just trying to focus on the positive. Also, stop saying Wisconsin. Dan had that whole cheese incident earlier. Just I don't want to.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I
Sorry,
remember
didn't mean to
It's
bring it up.
really
Cheese-
bumming me out.
I didn't mean
I'll send you some cheese curd, Dan. I'm sorry.
Waiting for him to put a
Really
cheese hat on. We need to get Dan one of those.
So let
Oh.
what? Go ahead, Pete. No, I
Oh.
didn't have a question. I was going to go into questions. So do your thing.
Oh no,
we still got to do what's on our bench.
I mean, yeah, we do.
Oh,
You're
don't-
right.
Yeah. So aside from, you mentioned you're having your employees. So what you're moving further away. Are you looking to keep that employee? Are you going to be expanding the team? Are you looking to maybe dial it back? Because maybe you guys talked, you wanted to go more towards content. So are you looking to do less work or maybe outsource more work? Which direction are you trying to go?
So, Evie, our employee, actually lives towards the direction we want to go. So for her, it's actually a benefit. So that'd be great. We plan to keep her. I honestly don't really want more employees. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to one day maybe getting like an editor, something like remote. But as I feel the more employees you get, the more stressful it gets, and then it just kind of defeats I feel like more than 5 employees would just be too much for me.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
I
That's
agree.
the number. That's the number in my head that sounds like it starts to become a real nightmare over 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3, 4 is great. 5, 6, it's just you start getting drama between people, and it's just too much for
I
me.
feel like at that
You
point,
start to
you
lose
need to
the
be
freedom.
removed from the business. You need to be just,
yeah, I'm no longer
Owner.
making at that point either.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
fighting
you're right.
fires.
At some point, you become more of a babysitter
Management,
than
yeah.
a. Yeah,
We
Yeah,
don't really
you're an
wanna go that
administrator.
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're an administrator. and it's
that's a
just- it's
nice
no
way of
fun.
saying babysitter.
Yeah.
Because you're right. You get too many people in a space, there's going to be drama. I mean, that's
you
just
guarantee
that's just
half
human
of them
nature.
aren't getting along.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
and
what happens.
when you have a small group of people working, you can kind of pull from people it starts to get to a point where you can't pull from people and you start getting like these wild cards as your employee, and then you start having these start having issues. You're like, oh man, I had to hire this they on paper look like a great employee, and then you get to find out they're just kind of a monster, and then you have this employee that you can't out here. You can't just like fire someone in
So
California.
I was talking to someone in
You'll
our
get sued for
community,
everything.
Right.
and they had 2 employees, and like both employees were stealing from them. And like he found out like a month later, and ended up firing them both. And then like because he picked up work to maintain them employees, and he had to fire them both, he was essentially like
Yeah.
Underwater.
Now he has to do it by
immediately
himself.
underwater.
oof.
It's so scary. The thought of anyway, that
The
stuff's so
thought of
scary.
relying on other people is a lot.
Yep.
We want
It's
the
scary.
freedom of
Especially, we all have
being
expensive tools in our
self-employed.
shop.
Yeah.
But Evie is a friend of yours, or she's just
No,
No.
she found us on Instagram actually,
Oh, really?
but she worked out perfectly.
Yeah, she was the perfect amount of like randomness, and she came to hang out, and she just vibed
She
with
never
us,
left.
and
Came to hang out and
pretty
never
much.
left.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
great.
did
she
that. I
babysits
did
her
that
dogs
once.
when we go to Workbench Con, and works
That's
so
dope.
good.
Oh,
That's
awesome.
dope.
There you go.
So cool.
Cool. Well, let's jump into our what's on the bench segment. That, of course, has to be, segued into it with this.
What's on my bench?
That's Dan. Don't worry, I'll write it down this time and actually send you a picture of all the editing.
I got
notes.
you. I got you. I've been doing it.
Oh, you're on it? Oh, my man. I'm not even gonna do anything anymore.
I'm the editor, bro. I
Big
got
boy
this.
editor stuff. Okay, well, let's start with Jef and Jess. What do you guys got going on right now? What you guys working on?
Well, I don't really do much of Etsy orders anymore. That's kind of like Evie kind of handles all that. I do like the finishing work of them, so they can kind of look over everything, and I'll do like the spraying of the top coats and stuff like that. But I've been just kind of working on like cutting boards and trying to just get like life in check. So right now on the workbench would be inlay cutting boards, and I messed up 2 of them this week.
Ooh.
It seems like you guys have been making a lot of content recently too. Have you stepped up to your content game?
I've been trying,
That's the
man.
goal,
It's
yeah.
tough.
Yeah, I like it. I enjoy it. Believe it or not. I mean, you need some more PVC stuff, but whatever. I'll take what I can get.
PVC
I'd say
project
you're
kind of video.
biased, but
Yeah.
I don't
5
step on any
easy
toes,
to
though.
attain PVC projects.
Yeah, it would kill it.
It would.
It would
Untapped
kill a
market.
person if they used
It's an
it.
untapped market.
So
All
what else?
right.
That's it. Just working on cutting
Well,
boards. Anything else?
yeah.
Aside from the
I
house
mean,
hunt.
What's in your life? What's going
Just
on in
like
your life
a-
other than the house hunt? You got anything
Last
else
couple
going
weeks
on?
projects.
We
Yeah.
need to make some stools
How's the rash?
because our benches broke.
What did you say, Dan?
How's the rash? Bad joke.
You weren't supposed to
Bad
tell
joke.
anybody about that.
I'm sorry.
It's a secret.
But other than just like woodworking stuff, we've been trying to work on the house, just chic up a few, odds and ends to make her a little more appealing.
Chic
The
up. I
basement
like
done?
that.
Yeah, like that. It's modern.
Is
The
the basement
basement's
done?
finished?
No, not yet.
Come on, Jeff.
We're working on
We're
it.
getting there. The
Drywall.
guest bedroom's done. Now we just gotta get the living room.
So the old shop is now a
We
guest
just
bedroom.
We just replaced the basement entry door, and now I'm painting the main entry door into the home.
Mm.
We
People
bought a
don't
new.
even remember that basement. I have like
No.
vivid memories of watching your content.
Dude, if you go on our YouTube channel and you scroll way down to the bottom, I did a shop tour of our basement.
Hmm.
It was pretty awful, but
It's rough.
And you had
watched that.
shorter hair then, I would imagine too.
yeah, I did.
no hair.
I probably shaved my hair at that point.
Yeah.
In the pre-show, we asked you if you were going to Maker Camp, and you said no, and you're going somewhere extra
We
foreign.
are going to Mexico, the west side of Mexico,
They're
the
going
west
to
side.
Campo del
Going to Baja?
Macro.
Puerto Vallarta.
Hey,
Oh,
I-
nice.
Yeah.
My wife and I spent our honeymoon there.
Was
Beautiful.
it nice? Where'd you go?
Beautiful. We stayed in the Marriott. Bougie.
Fancy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The Marriott?
The Marriott.
Wow.
No, it's Puerto Vallarta is great. Definitely get out and walk around the city and go to the shops in the city. It's super fun. And you're gonna sweat your butt off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why we go in October, so it's not.
You're
as
still gonna
bad.
sweat.
Yeah.
We stupidly got married in July and went to Puerto Vallarta
Ooh,
in July.
that was,
Obviously,
in
that was
July.
super smart. Yep.
Yeah,
Mistakes were made.
I sunburned the top of my head through my hair. It was really bad.
The hair never grew back.
Wear a bucket hat.
Pete
Anyway.
coming in hot.
So sorry.
That
Yeah, that sounds
That's
fun.
got protection.
that sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to Maker Camp. But going to Mexico sounds a lot better.
Lot
I
more
need
fun.
a break. And your
Me
reason
and
for
Mike
not
were actually
going to
talking
Maker
about
Camp?
doing like a maker getaway. We should
Yeah.
all plan like a trip to like Vegas
Mexico
or like
maker-
some
maker-
A
random
maker
island.
cruise.
The Maker
I don't like
Nah,
cruises.
no
Nah.
cruises.
Nah.
What
Too
if it's
much-
a river cruise?
Okay.
Okay.
No, that sounds what a river cruise sounds way
That
worse.
sold you? Really? It was that easy?
One of them floating casinos.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. With the crazy
With
big
the
wheel on the
river,
back.
yeah.
I would have been
Oh,
shocked
yeah.
if Dan was like, "Oh, Disney cruise," and you guys were like, "Yeah, okay, we'll do that one."
All right.
All
Disney
right.
cruise sounds great.
You
yeah.
got me at Pluto.
Pluto.
Vegas would be great. I mean, a big maker meetup in Vegas because there's nothing on the West Coast. Like that's like one of my big things.
No.
Like I want to get the property all figured out so
Well,
I
that
can
might
have a
be
big building here to do a
Next
maker
year for
meetup here.
AWFS, right? It's in Vegas.
AWFS, yeah. I mean, if it becomes, I mean, if people are out there, but I'd like it to be just like,
Throw an extra day in the
And then-
beginning or the end.
yeah. I mean, there's. It seems like this. They're. Well, anyway, I'll talk about that in the what's on my bench stuff. But yeah,
All
that
right.
would be super fun.
Pete.
And well, the other thing is if it rained at the event we do on the West Coast, there wouldn't be any casualties like at Maker Camp. Like if it rains at Maker Camp, there's going to be dead bodies. That's like a big concern. Like it's really crazy. Sorry, Pete.
No, it's all good. So what did I do in the last week? I think, was that last week? I don't know. I'm going to talk about it again if I talked about it last week. Yeah. Emma's desk is done. So I ended up doing a big L-shaped sit stand automatic desk for Emma as well. We had this countertop that we're going to do for our laundry room. The laundry room just keeps getting pushed back. It's the last room we have not done anything in a house since we moved in. That's for Winter Peter to worry about. Screw that guy. So for now, we're leaving it the way it is. And we use that top. It was actually, so it was an Ikea butcher block. I was fully expecting this thing to be like total crap. Ended up cutting it with the track saw to make an L. And it's like over 1/8 of an inch of wood on there. I was actually pleasantly surprised.
That's one thing that IKEA does well. I mean, they use quality materials. It's just there's too many dang parts.
And it is
together.
You're stretching.
It is solid core though. At least
it's better than like going to buy the same thing from like Target or Walmart. I mean,
it's amazing what they offer for $100. I'll be honest.
It is.
Yes.
There's a place for IKEA, and it's to have a throwaway furniture. But this countertop, we got it on like their as is section, and we've been sitting on it. And it's like a nice butcher block. Emma didn't want it to like look too yellow.
How comfortable was that?
What?
You've been sitting on it.
Oh, so my butt is very sore. So we used the Halcyon. I used the satin on there, and it looks so good. Emma loves it. We installed it, and I get the desk put all together, and the base doesn't work. So that was super fun. It was all the way down on the ground. Turns out the controller was bad, but the one I had on my desk is identical. So we ended up moving that over there. So she's been able to use it all week. I just got mine back up, so I'm standing.
Didn't you just contact the customer service and they hooked you up like right away?
It was a Friday night, and they're like, we got a call scheduled for Monday. I'm like, all weekend with this desk at like 2 feet off the ground. So luckily we're able to work something out. So yay. Aside from that, I've been prototyping a bunch of new tools for the Etsy shop. I've been kind of holding off on adding new stuff because I just didn't have time or capacity to tackle more projects. Sometimes, like when we talked about this earlier, just like got to like dial it back. But now that the print shop is set up, all the printers are running full time, I'm able to tackle more printing, more shipping. And I just loaded up on a bunch of supplies today for the holidays, because I keep talking about this. Like, the Christmas is around the corner. It's like right here. It's September. It's basically, I mean, look, in stores.
It's basically tomorrow.
You go to any store right now and they don't even have Thanksgiving stuff up anymore. It's already the Christmas lights and trees and stuff like at Costco.
Yeah, screw Halloween.
Yeah, screw Halloween. So I'm just loading up on all the supplies I need, all the filament. I got a wood order and plywood order coming in next week that I gotta just finalize. So I'm just trying to get ahead of the curve because I feel like I'm not gonna have any time to get into all those places. Aside from that, I've been working on these ice climbing tools. Last week was all hands on deck. What was that?
Back scratches.
The big back scratchers. Yeah, exactly. So my buddy Jake from JV Woodwork stopped by for a couple hours on Saturday, and my parents were away in Europe for a couple months. They came back and they were immediately like, give us something to do. We have nothing to do. Like, we're bored. I'm like, why did you even come back? You're just bored.
Why are they even retired?
Yeah. So my dad just offered to help in the shop, and we got a lot knocked out. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I should just, anytime he's here, just hire him full time. So we got that knocked out. The project's almost done. I need to just laser the logo and finish sand some of them, and we are done. I can deliver those next week, which is perfect because Emma signed us up for a maker event, a fair here in town, and we're going to be doing that on the 24th. So I need to make a bunch of stuff. I have a bunch of cutting boards and random things that I always try to keep a couple in stock, but I need to, get all the signs, the bottle openers, all the other stuff that does well at fairs, and try to get that knocked out in less than 2 weeks, or about 2 weeks. So
you can do it.
It's all hands on deck. I went into my lumber shed. I got all the offcuts from like last holiday season, the cutting boards, all the short pieces. So I have all these shorties ready just for glue. So I'm going to start throwing them up in clamps this week.
I have like 3 boxes of random fair stuff if you want me to just ship it to you from the fair I tried to do like 5 months ago that never sold.
just list it in your Etsy shop and just sell it off or give it as like a free gift with purchase.
Oh, I did. I put it all in my Etsy shop for dirt cheap, and it's still sitting there.
It did so.
Although the fair you did was like, wasn't it like not quite like a regular fair?
No, they messed it up for sure. Yeah. It was definitely, they screwed it up.
So that's about it. Mike, what about you? Since you're talking, go.
I'm sorry. Dan, what about you? No, I want to talk real quick about IWF, just because I didn't get to talk about it last week. IWF was a really interesting experience. I really enjoyed that a lot. It wasn't like, I've never been to a show like that.
International Women's Fair?
Yeah, the International Women's Freedom Fair. They asked me to come for obvious reasons. No, it was the International Woodworking Fair. It is the largest woodworking convention in the Western Hemisphere. So it's companies from around the world. It was at the Georgia World Congress Center, which is a absolutely just massive building. It was crazy there. It was cool. It was a really cool event seeing the woodworking world outside of what I think a lot of us perceive the woodworking world as. I mean, we'll see things like we think of like cabinet. Like we think about it like small shop makers. Cabinet shops are kind of like the big thing in our world. Like we think about cabinet shops where there's like 10, 15 people in there, but these machines were like robots that were hundreds, like 100 feet wide, 100 feet long, picking up whole stacks of melamine and loading them onto giant CNCs and running them through like a room that was like 200 feet long. And it puts like 4 coats of lacquer before the pieces.
All you need is an Izzy and a couple of Grabos and you got that thing.
Yeah, it was
all set.
These things were like so precise. The robots were, it's just like a whole different world. It's like an industry of the wood, or it's a side of the woodworking industry that I'd never even consider or want to be a part of in any level. It just sounds horrible. Like, it's just like,
no, there's no creativity there.
No, it's like
all production stuff.
It just sounds horrible. So, but it was really interesting to see for sure. And then the stuff, it's the usual players were there. There was a bunch of cool people, a bunch of cool brands, for stuff that we typically deal with. So it was really cool. They're trying to integrate content creators more into that event. And we were just kind of talking about Las Vegas, and the sister show to IWF is AWFS. That's in Vegas. So they go 1 year it's IWF, 1 year it's AWFS. Well, the AWFS people were like, hey, we want to have more content people involved in AWFS for sure. So there's going to be a lot more connections on that happening, which is going to be really good. Because I mean, Vegas, I'm excited about Vegas because all the events in the woodworking world and the content world, they're all on the East Coast. Like for me, I have to fly like a day to do any of these events. So anything on the West Coast, I'm really excited about. Like
I'm just excited about all the buffets. You've heard about the buffets that are in Vegas,
shows.
Right?
Yeah, the shows. I can't wait to go see.
Did you hear Brittany has a residency?
Finally, she finally got free Brittany. That's all I keep saying. It's gonna be cool seeing that. But yeah, the show was really cool. It was really good to.
I didn't get that.
Okay.
Could you try again?
This stupid thing.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, the thing heard a word and thought it was another word. Stupid robots. Anyway, speaking of robot, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's gonna be a good time. So, but anyway, what I got going on right now is I'm building my first chair ever today, which is really exciting for me. I'm actually really having fun building a chair. It's something I've never done, and I've kind of been I've been intimidated by building chairs. And I'm really excited to build chairs. So I'm kind of going after this.
I think chairs are intimidating for everybody. I mean, that's kind of a big step in the woodworking world.
It was intimidating. I like one of my goals. It was going to be this year, but it's not going to happen. I really wanted to take a chair making class. There's 2 classes I'm going to take now. And it'll happen next year though. So, I'm really excited to make these chairs. I'm just really excited to like tackle this thing. So
did you buy plans or do something in like Fusion?
I drew this up in CAD. I drew it up over the last week. So this customer, we're building
cutting it on a CNC or
no, I'm cutting it all. I'm cutting it all traditional.
Nice.
It's
whittling.
It's an L-shaped bench with storage, kind of farmhousey style, not my style, but it's like an L-shaped bench. And then like we're doing an L-shaped bench, a table, and then 3 custom chairs. And the lady's like, this is kind of what I'd like, but you have full creative control. So I get to do whatever I want, which is nice. So the design is basically a non-mid-century version of the chair I'm going to be building for my dining table, because I'm going to be starting a new dining table here like in a week and a half. I've got a bunch of 8-quarter white oak. I'm going to be doing a 6-foot diameter round table for the dining room. I'm going to be doing a big one, so I'm going to be building a bunch of custom chairs for it. And I've been working on this design for these chairs since like spring, so I've been very like in my head about it. I haven't started the project because I've been so intimidated by chairs, but now that I'm doing it for a customer, I feel a lot less stressed out about it. So we'll have these chairs done like middle of next week. So it's really fun. Like, it's really cool. It's cool challenging myself. So I'm really looking forward to that. This dining set's going to be good. I need to get this out of here big time. We've got this big office build out we're doing, which keeps getting bigger. It was initially like a really big project, and then they shrunk it way down, but now they just keep adding more stuff to it. It's at like 10 custom desks, 2 conference tables, and 2 bars now. Like, it's just huge project. It's like
wait, bars in an office?
Yeah, in their kitchen. It's two live edge Claro walnut bars in there, like like standing kind. Height.
Yeah,
it's like,
although that might be your style too.
Like, where do I apply?
What's that, Jeff?
Do they have Casey's Pizza nearby?
No. This is California. We have good food. No, it was
they forget the cheese one time. It's still good pizza. I still stand behind it.
Dan will die on that hill. No, it's I finished. We got the shop like done. The new building is done. Did the mini splits last week. I think I mentioned that last week. We got mini splits in from Mr. Cool. Big thanks to them. Those were, I hate saying this phrase, but they were a game changer. they absolutely, I mean, like, the shop not being 92 at the end of the day is super nice. It's like,
you were dealing with some pretty high temperatures this week. So
yeah, this week's been,
I would say that qualifies as a game changer.
It was 113 on Tuesday. Like, yikes. What the heck? And then today was 106.
That's like Death Valley temps, man.
We get above 100 for a few weeks of the year, but this is definitely not this. We broke all the high records for the area, so it's concerning for sure. Like, it's not a great trend we want to pass down.
I think it has something to do with all those fires.
Yeah, Dan thinks the fires are heating up the state.
Roasting Nebraska. California.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, so we got that done. We got just a lot of stuff going on right now. It's, I don't know. I wanted to talk about IWF. I won't want to like dig too deep into the other stuff we got going on. I've just got a bunch of weird stuff. So Dan, what you got going on, man?
Typical stuff. Etsy things. Etsy is keeping me busy as always. I ran a 25% off for the Labor Day only sale.
Say, like, you ran.
No, I didn't run.
Come on.
Come on.
Bruh. Okay, I actually do need to run, but I didn't run. But I ran an Etsy sale for Labor Day, one day only, Labor Day, 25% off, and that did really well. I forget how many orders I did, but it was quite a bit. And I'm still trying to catch up with that. Like, there are currently 37 orders in my queue, and it's just like really hard to stay on top of that. I really need some help in that department because I've been focusing on commission work, because I have a bunch of commissions that are coming due. Clients are like, hey, where's my stuff? So I've been working on that.
Remember when I paid you money?
Yeah. Oh, you 8 months ago? Yeah. And then I've been focusing on YouTube. I have a videographer show up every Wednesday and we record. We try to bang out a project in one day, but this week it was tough. We had a lot of challenges. This week I'm doing 2 birds with 1 stone type of thing. One of my commissions is making tip boxes for this car wash here in town. They stand up at the end of like the car wash line where they have all their employees like wiping down your car and stuff, and they will take tips, and the owner wanted some new boxes. And so I'm making that, but we decided to turn that into a YouTube video, and I ran into some problems. My bandsaw was giving me a lot of headaches. I need to get some new blades for that ordered ASAP. Everything is dull. All the blades I have for that are dull. I was trying to resaw a 12-inch tall piece of cherry, 8-quarter cherry, into some like 1/2-inch planks for the box lids. And man, it was a cluster. The piece I was trying to resaw had a bunch of tension in it, so the blade was like all over the place, and then like the wood clamped onto the blade, and I couldn't get it off of there, so we had to like put wedges in it and
How
pry it off.
embarrassing for a YouTube video.
Oh man,
dude,
oh, that will not make.
Oh,
No.
you should have
There's
seen him fight
video,
with a
but
glue
that's
bottle.
not going to make the video. I'm like, we're cutting all this out.
the
People
video
love
of
that
Dan,
stuff.
the video of Dan's response to the the piece of wood grabbing onto the blade is the video I want to see.
Yes.
It
Dan
was-
just pushing his bandsaw over and kicking his videographer.
Oh, dude, I didn't want to kick Isaiah, but I definitely
what did I
want to kick.
do?
I definitely did want to kick the bandsaw.
So this is woodworking, he says.
And I've speaking of this is woodworking, I've actually been giving Isaiah some little tips and tricks and how to run equipment and stuff because he's interested. And I was like, let's make a quick cutting board. So I showed him the in and outs of like running a table saw and a jointer, and so we're dabbling in that, baby steps. That's kind of fun. I enjoy teaching. I didn't realize that. I kind of enjoy teaching and showing somebody how to run the machines.
Honestly, you
Did
teach
you
me every single day. You teach me patience.
Really? I don't know if you're watching the same guy. I don't.
No, patience dealing with you.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
This is an attack. So yeah, back to the tip boxes. I'm making some tip boxes for the car wash, and that should be done in the next day or so. So that should be fun. I think that's basically it. Oh, one more thing. I finished up the third beam for that house. Remember how I was doing the faux beams?
Yeah.
But I had the third beam. We didn't put it up. So I finished that up, and I need to take that over to the house and install that. That should be fun. It's going to be like a double function, not double function. It's going to have two purposes, looks and like a shelf, like a floating shelf. So,
Okay.
Nice.
yeah.
And a tip jar.
It's a tip beam.
Tip box.
A tip beam. I like it. It'll have a slot in it.
Yeah,
The husband will put tips in there or the wife will put tips, whatever.
Okay.
That's awkward now. I think we're done with what's on our bench. Let's get out.
Yeah.
Let's go right into questions as fast as humanly possible. This first question is from Thomas. He's our friend from France. He always has great questions. Here's Thomas' question. Let's go.
There's one sound that no one knows. What does the
French.
say?
Okay, so let's look at the question checklist first. Don't speak in French. Don't mention Instagram boobs. Ask clear question. You don't want to be called dum-dum again, do you? Alright, short, clear, and straight to the point. Hey guys, it's Thomas from France again, and here are my questions. What is your favorite wood? Also, what are the advantages and disadvantages to work with your partner? And what is your best advice for a successful Etsy shop? Merci à plus. Oh shit, it was French.
Obviously your favorite wood's walnut, so you don't have to answer that.
Wait, I actually, sorry, I had to put a stop on this. We have not actually answered the what's your favorite wood in like 110 episodes.
Well, yeah, because we've shamed all the listeners. And
No, I know we've shamed them, but like,
question.
but hang on, like we've all discovered a lot of different woods, or like pivoted our favorite to go with. I feel like I want to hear Jef and Jess first, but like just a quick round robin later of all of us.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Jef and
let's
Jess go.
not use walnut because that's obviously everyone's favorite.
Cop
Right.
out.
So if walnut wasn't an option, I would say
English walnut.
Too soon.
I would have to
Too
say
soon.
cherry, and I really do like black limba, but it's a little soft.
Ooh.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Pete, before they go into the questions from Thomas, what's your favorite wood?
Dan.
You know my favorite wood.
All right. No, Dan is my favorite. Never. So
Oh.
I used to I dislike the color of cherry. I like the color of cherry, but it wasn't like my favorite color. But I always loved the way it tooled. It's kind of becoming my more favorite color. I'm learning as like you play around with finishes. It's cheap. It tools really well. It finishes nicely. It's hard enough and soft enough. It satisfies me. So
Like a Snickers.
cherry's like my favorite right now. I do love the look of walnut, but just I feel like cherry has all of the things that I really want. Dan?
Like corn.
My favorite depends on what I'm doing. I mean, my favorite for CNC is different than my favorite for making furniture out of or making a cutting board. So currently my favorite wood to CNC is ash. That stuff carves really well. It's very nice ash. I like it. And then, obviously furniture making, you got to say walnut. I feel like that's
White oak. White oak's up there too.
Yeah.
I hate white oak.
It's getting there.
Sorry.
I like white oak. White oak. White oak's great. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite wood combinations is walnut and white oak. I know a lot of people like walnut and maple because of the super contrast, but I really like the look of walnut with white oak. Like if you're making something with two different woods, they pair well together, I believe. And cutting boards, I really like Paduke. I like working with Paduke. It tools well.
Mm.
It actually, my answer right here on the spot. Paduke for everything. It carves well. It smells good. It cuts.
And it looks
easy.
like Cheeto dust.
Yeah,
like Cheeto dust.
And it looks
burns a little
super
bit
cool when it's freshly cut. I really like Paduke. And if you call it Paduke, you're wrong.
Paduke.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. Actually, that's perfect.
You're wrong.
If you call it Paduke, you're wrong. And,
Damn it!
Shirt.
That's a shirt.
Michael.
And you're kind of the reason I asked because you've
Michael,
discovered a lot
answer
of
me
new
this.
wood.
Yeah, I have. No, I actually really like cherry a lot.
Yeah.
I think like 12, 13 years ago, I think that was the king of the hill for like
the
hardwood
hood.
furniture. Yeah, king of the hood wood. I think there was a lot of like cherry pieces like a few years back.
Dude,
Now
in the
it's cheap 'cause
'70s, in the '70s, walnut was considered trash wood.
right. I
It
mean,
was
you
true-
know,
true story,
King
though.
then.
yeah, red oak was the king of the 70s.
Red oak
and
was
80s.
king.
That worked out really well.
For sure.
I really like cherry. I really like maple a lot and ash.
Yeah.
I really like maple and ash a lot. Maple and ash tool really well. They tool really well on the CNC. They tool really well on the traditional tools. I just really like those.
Sand.
Yeah, but I don't say anything. I got employees. So it's
You brought up a good point in the pre-shows, like
Maybe you
ash.
should get rid of your DeWalt sander, Jeff.
Ash is becoming
sander.
a
Don't
lot
get me
more
started.
rare because of the ash borer. So like
Yeah, they're
or
having
the
issues
peel
with
ash
the
borer.
bugs.
So it's actually I think gonna become a more desired wood because it's gonna be harder to get.
It's going to be a
Well-
few years for sure, but
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
they've got
right
like,
now- sorry.
go ahead, Dave.
Right now around here in the Omaha area, ash is prevalent because there's a lot of ash trees around here and they're taking down a lot of them. And right now, ash is super cheap just because there's an overabundance of that lumber. But you're
Here,
right. In a couple
ash and
years
maple
from now,
costs the same right now. Here,
in a couple
soft
years from
maple and
now,
ash.
ash will be sought after because it
Maple
will be hard
out
to get.
right now is like $7 or $8 for some reason. I can get ash for $3 a board foot, which puts it at probably
think
the
it's-
cheapest hardwood I can get right now.
I think it's about the same
Um,
for me here as well.
Yeah, I can't even
pretty
get
cheap.
alder or poplar that cheap.
Jersey's
Really?
For whatever
weird.
reason.
We're all
Yeah,
broken.
It's crazy. It's all weird all over the place. But anyway, I really like those woods. Oh,
Actually,
back to
what's the wood prices like in Wisconsin? Like, what do you guys like? What's your go-to? Is it price wise or just
So
buying
walnut
this
right
and go?
now is about $9.50 a board foot. Hard maple, I think it's like $6. White oak's like $8, and then cherry's like $3, and then ash is
cherry's
probably
always
like
cheap.
$2.50.
Cherry here it's at least $7, $6-7.
Really?
It's cheap here
The
too.
last time I went to buy, it was not cheap.
Yeah.
Jersey is all broken, man. I was paying $14 a board foot for walnut.
Well, maybe if Jersey wasn't nothing but concrete parking lots
Hey, we have all those nice.
and
yeah, that's about
bagels.
it.
they
Bagels.
paved paradise and built it. Anyway, let's get back to Tomas' question
Yeah.
since he asked it
Yeah.
and we just blasted past it.
What were the
So
other
what's
two
it like
questions?
working with your yeah, there was two. The first one was what's it like working with your partner? I mean, what's the advantages or disadvantages or break it all down.
Do you still like each other, or is your marriage on the rocks, or is it in shambles?
So the thing you do right out the gate is you kind of set your own what am I trying? Like,
You separate the tasks. So
Yeah.
you each do what
Delineate.
you're better at. Yeah.
yeah. So I try not to step on her toes, and she tries not to step on my toes. I build the stuff, and she don't question anything. She lists everything and deals with customers. I stay out of it.
For the most part.
That's smart.
We
I
still
heard
get
it for
into
the
it,
most
but, you
part.
know.
I heard it for the most part in there.
There's in there. Yep.
Well, I guess that's smart. That's a smart approach because it gives clear responsibilities and clear, like, this is my realm, stay out kind of stuff, which is really smart. That's a really smart approach for sure. Like, hey, that's you both saying to each other, I trust you to handle this. And now also it takes it off your plate in a way that you don't have to worry about it.
And it also says, I trust you to leave me alone and let me do my thing.
Yes.
Do it right.
More so.
I would say that's the biggest advantage is that there's two of us.
Because
And
realistically, like me and Evie are out in the shop most of the day. We come in for lunch, take the dogs for a walk, and then we go back out there and she's kind of, well, unless she's doing she still does like clocks and that kind of stuff.
Couple
She'll come out
things,
there, but
yeah.
then I'll usually come in the house and work on computer work.
So let me ask you this then, because obviously there's not a lot of like reels that you do of like Jess just furiously typing away, answering messages. You do mostly woodworking content, and we do see Jess in the shop quite a bit in your content. Is that something you're consciously wanting to do? Is obviously you've always been involved in the process, Jess, but you're more of an administrative role from a day-to-day perspective. So like, are you content-wise looking to be more, or have Jess kind of side by side with you? Because obviously you guys, it's the two of you since the beginning. It's always been a two of you. It's not like Jef, and then Jess is here too. It's like, no, it's Jef and Jess since the start.
I have a theory before you go. Before
You're
you
not the
say
same
something.
person.
With it,
We
Dan,
talked
hit
about
me
this.
with
You're
it.
not the same person.
I think Jef is growing his hair out so he could do both roles, and Jess don't have to be in front of
Standing
the
from the
camera.
back is gonna die at
got
run.
us.
Once
He
it gets
could
long
be-
enough,
he
I'm
could
just
be
gonna
Jess's
dye it. You'll never
stand-in.
know.
Stunt double
Yes, Jess stunt
for a
double.
kickback video.
Ooh, it'll go viral.
It absolutely will.
So like, is that a conscious choice? Or are you guys trying to pivot that way with
Yeah,
more
we
and
are.
more content?
And that's kind of like the freedom of like YouTube too, because for me, we're kind of just out there and everything's just kind of point and shoot, like this is what I'm working on, versus YouTube's more structured and we can kind of plan it more, which makes it easier to incorporate her than like, hey, come out here so we can kind of shoot some content.
Yeah, my goal isn't to always do the administrative work. It's not the fun stuff, but
No, it's
Just
absolutely
Etsy's demanding. Like
Yeah.
the back end of it's a lot.
100%.
and then our website, so you have to double everything you do.
Oof. Yeah.
And the thing with Etsy, if you
Twice.
want it to keep going and keep growing, like you can't ignore it. You have to stay on
No.
top of it.
You have to keep changing
You gotta
it and
constantly
updating
tweak
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot how busy you are, given that you guys are kind of writing the book on like how to provide the most amount of possible information ever. Like, because most of the questions are like, oh, does it come in this color? Or can you do this size? You guys do a good job of like covering all your questions, and you're still slammed with questions. That's the crazy thing.
And like we get a lot of the question of like, oh, how did you guys grow so fast? And how did you explode on Etsy?
That actually, we can roll right into Toma's last question, which is how do you be successful on Etsy? How do you maintain success?
So a lot of people don't realize like how we grew so fast is there's two of us. Like if you're by yourself, have 4 kids, and your wife has no interest, like it's going to take you a little longer to kind of gain momentum than
To be fair, your dogs
both
have
of
no
us
interest.
pounding away at it.
Yeah, I mean, so is it just that it's the two of you, or like, were you guys always like both set on this, or was there ever like a, okay, I'll do this type of thing from one of you?
Kind of for her right now is like she hates computer work.
Oh,
it's I mean, I feel most people do though, but like
It's not the most entertaining thing.
You know,
I
it's-
definitely
it's-
get easily distracted, and
we got
Well,
3 dogs running around the house, and then
Yeah.
like
But usually it's-
questions coming in.
usually it's opposite. It's I don't have no interest in the woodworking. Like me and Emma work very closely together. She has no interest in the woodworking side of it. She'll help me when I'm in there if we're working on a project together, but like otherwise,
that's
not really her
kind of
thing.
how I feel. I'll help him. I don't necessarily want to build something start to finish by myself. That's not really my goal. I just wanted to be self-employed, and this is kind of where we landed. I don't know.
I mean, that's
Works for
admirable.
us. Yeah.
you guys are killing it. Damn.
It's awesome. It's awesome to watch.
So if you don't mind, I'd love to actually ask some more questions kind of bounce it because that's it for questions, right? We just had the one from Tamar.
Yeah, that was it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Come on, you
Awesome.
slacker listeners. What's going on? Next week, more questions.
So disappointed.
I love all of you, but come on. So
What's
I
the matter
forgot to
you?
ask this- what's the matter for you? Exactly. So I want to kind of know, like, we talked a little bit about the content side of it. So like, what is your content strategy? You guys are obviously doing very well. And like you said, I think a big part of it is that there is two of you and you're both very focused on a goal. And you're both all in on it. So like one has to sell the other, like, oh, let's do a video. I don't know, but whatever.
And as much as it pains me to say this, you're both pretty creative.
Yeah.
Although you could use more PVC. Anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, I do agree.
But like, so what is your content strategy like? And also take us through like your workflow. So like is it just like, I'm going to make a whatever reel that day and then I'm going to post it to these things? Or is it more of just, I have a strategy for the next couple of days of what we're going to post? Just take us through your world.
So honestly, like me and Mike kind of talk about like just
The algorithm?
Yeah, just like the mess of like IGE lately.
I would say we used to do more of what we want. We still do, but now it's kind of trying to veer towards what will do well.
Yeah, because
Which
like
kinda
that's like,
sucks.
man, like a year and a
Yeah.
half ago, I feel like I could have just posted anything and got decent engagement. People wanted to hear about it versus now, like you really got to play the game. But I
Really
should
Sounds-
set a day aside where we do plan content. Like that would be a good idea.
Jeff, you and I talked about this for sure, but we were just talking about this, I think last week on the episode where it was like, I've just like accepted that now I have to do these things that Instagram has dictated to me to do to get anywhere. Well, then over the last couple of days, there's something going on because Dan, I think all of us individually have talked, but I have not ever had posts do this bad ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, usually this is there's some sort of change to the algorithm. Usually they do an update when there's like numbers like this. So it's just
Obviously this is all
change.
speculation. We don't know.
Yeah, we
but
don't know what we're
still.
talking about.
Yeah,
no
we
one
all
knows what
just
they're
guess.
talking about.
But there's got to be something
yeah,
going
everyone's
on.
just guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
something-
posted a
like-
post yesterday, and I think it ended up at like 130 likes, which is really bad for like.
Yeah.
For an account
For
of
you
your
guys.
size, that's not
Yeah.
good.
120
I mean-
something K, right?
150 plus now, right?
157.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean,
bunch.
100 likes out of 150,000 people.
I have
It's
a
not like you're
post-
posting. It's not like you're posting garbage. You're clearly not reaching all your followers.
My
Yeah,
post
yeah, and
today
like
is at
obviously you
80
can't
likes.
post like
Ooh.
that when you posted today.
Yeah, the one today.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
it's
It's just not getting
ridiculous.
pushed at all.
Right.
Yeah,
think it
my
was kinda
last
like
three
when-
reels are under 10,000 views
Hate to
still.
brag,
Yeah.
but 71. Saying.
Ooh,
cruising. 1,000 views.
No
Yeah.
big
ripping.
deal.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. And that's the crazy thing. So I was growing on the last episode. I was talking. I grew 7,000 followers. I don't know where I just had 2 videos go off. Great, whatever. And then I had I forget if I mentioned this last week, but I had a hate speech strike because I used. I
You
think 'cause I
briefly
used the
mentioned
word-
it.
Yeah, because I said girls are weird because it was Emma popping a glue pimple. And I was like, girls are weird. They see a pimple, they pop it, whatever. And it got pulled. And I applied for a review or whatever. It just immediately got shut down. And I went from 1,500 followers a day to -7. And like the last couple of days, just been negative numbers. It's like, what
I
is
actually
happening?
got one the other day too.
For like
Hate
the
speech?
weirdest thing.
Animal.
So like it was like let's say
Like a
you're glue
joke.
popping. I don't remember what it was, but I was
Yeah.
it was do you use a glue
Glue
roller.
roller.
or glue brush? And someone's like, I use my finger, and I was like, you animal, laughy face, and it flagged me for
Yeah.
Wow.
bully.
being a bully.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Wow.
Harassment.
And I asked to get it reviewed, and it was like instantly like
Instantly,
Nope.
yeah.
Ignored.
And
computer.
then next step after that is like you have to like fill out an application and write an essay. Because it goes
Yeah,
to like a
come
third
on.
party. It's like,
Dear
that's not even
Zuck.
worth it. Dear Zuck, you suck.
I have a weird.
So okay, so since we're talking about like Instagram, like is Instagram your first place to post? When we're talking about the strategy, are you making a video and then just launching it everywhere, or are you making it an Instagram? What's your workflow?
Yeah, I make a video and then I'll post it to Instagram, post it to Facebook. Facebook, you should be posting to Facebook if you're not. They've really been
You
pushing
guys-
Facebook.
You guys do well on Facebook, don't you?
Yeah, lately,
Yeah.
man, it's been crazy. And then
So are
I've
you-
been really good on TikTok too.
Are you posting to Facebook individually, or are you just cross posting from Instagram?
No, you
or is
have
that still
to
a thing?
post it. You have
Individually?
to post it individually, and get
yeah.
that Reels bonus.
Yep.
I don't
The
even
Reels
have.
bonus on Facebook is legit. The
I don't
Reels
even have
bonus on
Reels
Inst-
available to me on my Facebook business
You
page.
do. I'll just text me or something. I'll help you.
You probably do.
You do.
It's just not a button, but you can go into Reels and then post your own. Emma has the same thing. She doesn't have a Reels button.
Easy to navigate.
Facebook is a mess.
It's a nightmare.
But I think that's why they're pushing Facebook so hard, because
people are leaving.
Yeah.
It's not interesting.
Because they know that everyone's going to TikTok and Instagram.
Well, Facebook is where the boomers are.
Now, when you make content, are you thinking of like especially now, let's be real. Trending sounds is where it's at. All the stuff that everyone, like, the corn, whatever, all about corn. Now, corn.
Don't make fun of Tariq. That kid's awesome.
But like, are you guys thinking of the trending sound or using that trending sound before you post it to the platforms? Or are you just making content and then matching some kind of audio to that?
The second part.
Okay.
I do think it's a good idea to do the trending sounds. It's just not something I'm really into, which is why it just doesn't interest me. But that's a good way to get views, though, because people
might be one of my problems as well. Yeah. I have the same problem. Like I can't get into the trending sounds. I'd rather post the sound that kind of goes along with what I'm posting instead of just a random trending sound.
Yeah. But I agree. It's a good idea. It's just, it's just a lot of forethought, but you do get locked into the scroll because like I'll listen to like the corn kid, for instance. Like, how many people are using that sound right now and just scrolling through videos using that sound?
You just stop. See what's going on.
Really?
See, when I was growing up, corn was a completely different genre.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Spelled with a K.
My life is nothing but corn. I live in Nebraska.
Us too.
All right. So one last question I have is, you were talking about wanting to maybe get an editor as an employee later down the line. So like, what are some things, or what's the next thing that you want to outsource? And what are some things that you want to fully outsource? Like, would you ever want to step away from the business or outsource the administrative stuff? Like videographer, like, Danger's got a videographer and he speaks very highly of it. It's nice to have someone record the content.
It's also nice that he's family and we worked out a really great deal.
So what's the next thing you want to outsource, and what are kind of all the things you'd like to start outsourcing?
Man, I would say probably the videographer editing aspect, but like at the same point, like I don't mind editing. Like I don't mind the whole, like I enjoy the creative aspect of it. But that would be definitely the next step. That it just takes a long time, especially YouTube. It's just a lot of work. And just every morning I get up, first thing I do is post to the socials. That takes me an hour. By the time I find a video, edit it, post it, catch up with comments, and then, go about my day. It just takes a while by the time you post to 3 platforms.
It's an absolute time suck, and it is a job. Like, that's 100%. The bottom line. Like, it's just
if you want to keep up with it, it's 100% a job.
Yeah.
I think we've been preaching that since we started this podcast. I mean, social media is a full-time job.
And that's why some accounts, the bigger accounts, don't respond to any comments or messages, just because, it's a lot.
It's kind of a big deal.
I ain't got time for that.
Dan in the 100,000 club now. Too good. Too good, Dan.
And then Mike was riding away for a while too.
I'm slowly sliding backwards. I think I'm going to be out of the 100K.
It's so funny. We had like a
soon.
great like 3-4 weeks, and then just all of us hit a wall.
Oh, I need to get into another fight with an oil company or something.
I'm still seeing follows. I'm just not seeing views. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know why. I don't know where the follows are even coming from, because, well, honestly,
China.
The views didn't really. Yeah, China. The views didn't really drop off until like this week. Like, I had pretty decent views. I was kind of happy with everything, but like this week's weird. So it just reaffirms that I think that they're doing some sort of update to the algorithm right now. So it'll probably weird through the week, and then next week we'll all start to see equalization. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of work, and sometimes it's like, is it worth it? But then you see people are crushing it, and it's absolutely
like
worth
Dusty
it. And it's
Lumber Co.
Yeah, that guy just crushes.
Dusty?
Yeah, his name's Dusty, and his last name's Lumber.
4,000 likes in 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's unreal. Like it's
unreal.
Like he puts anything he puts up, it's going to be over 3,000 likes within the.
I feel like the game though. Like you just can't quit. You just keep plowing through, and then you'll get a little spurt of momentum, and then you'll fall off.
Can't quit. Yep.
Do you think he has an editor for like
no,
Instagram?
his stuff's pretty simple. I doubt he has an editor.
I just feel like it's hard to outsource that type of stuff.
For Instagram,
for the short form, I think it's impossible. I think you got to keep that.
Well, here's the thing:
like,
it was really eye-opening to hear Brad talk about it when we had him on. He was saying that like he has an editor now that he like just sent all the stuff, and basically his job full time was to sit down, sift through all of it, and make short form content that he can post to everything.
that was one of the driving forces of me, like, just saying, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get Isaiah in here to help me in that department. And it's already showing dividends, actually, believe it or not, which I can't go into right now.
I mean, can you verify?
Can't go into.
I mean, what do you mean?
What I shared with you earlier today.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Your porno.
Yes.
So
OnlyFans.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Onlyfans.com/onlydans. That's where you
do good dance.
Feet pics.
Yeah, subcategory feet pic. Gross. All right, well, we're a long time into the show, and we've already gone into the feet pics parts of the jokes, so I think it might be time to wrap up the episode.
And we did all our one question.
Yeah, we did all our one question. We did all our one what's on image. This is a good episode. It's a great
imported,
episode, actually.
We got special imported French questions for you guys. You're welcome.
Yeah, they're actually pronounced questions
for you guys.
If they're from anywhere outside of French, it's just
we figured Wisconsin's the best cheese in America. We got the best cheese from Europe.
Ooh, we should have a
He's
cheese
a good
off.
boy. That's Italy. Whoops. Anyway, all right. Hey, big thanks to Jef and Jess for joining us.
God save the queen.
Much, you guys. Yeah, she's
too soon.
I have some bad news for you, Dan. You're gonna want to sit down. She's worm food. No, big thanks to you guys for joining us on the show. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all your insights and all the fun banter. So
yes.
Can we call this episode God Save the Moose?
No. Well, maybe.
What?
We are.
God Save the Queen,
title.
but the moose.
Whatever you want.
Dance. It's a stretch.
Jeez
it's
Louise.
pretty.
We'll workshop it.
Yeah, we'll workshop it at the end.
We'll come back to that one.
Go. If you don't follow them, first of all, you're a fool.
Wait, are you insane?
Second of all, go follow them on Instagram at 2 Moose Design. Go check them out on YouTube. Go check them out on TikTok and on Facebook. So if
apparently Facebook
over 56
is where it's at.
years old, go check them out on
telling
Facebook.
you.
So go check them out. Go give them some love. Go check out the podcast on YouTube. Go subscribe to that channel. We're so close to monetizing that channel. It's taken 2 effing years and we're still not monetized.
And if you don't want to wait
and then
till
you're
then,
gonna make
help us out on
37 cents a day.
Patreon.
Yeah, dude.
Better than 0 cents, Jeff.
We're not gonna make
True.
any money on that thing. It's just a dumb goal that's been
goal.
lingering out there for a million years, and I just need it done. Like, come on, people, go make
Like
some
getting
charity
just the
bank
podcast.
accounts.
It was just a goal we had.
No,
I think I'm
anyway,
gonna finally subscribe to it.
You're the worst. I
I'm
hate you.
subscribed.
Anyway, big thanks to everyone out there. We really appreciate you guys so much. Tune in next week where we have another show where it's just as good as this one. So have a good week.
We may or may not have a guest.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll figure it out, man. Bye.
Love you all. Bye.
Be a long time.